Warriors, 24 games to go, and they're a 500 team. You know what I heard today? I listened to a lot of the radio today.
Our radio?
Yes.
All right.
And trust me, I'm not. This is from the bottom of my heart. This is an observation. It's not a.
Oh.
It's not a.
Hot take?
Steiny's trying to pry. But it feels like for the last 2 weeks and for most of the season, there have been a large chunk of Warrior fans that are saying there's nothing to see here. Let's go. We're 29-29. We're champs. We will get it going. And I'm listening to the radio all day today, and it feels like now that the games begin, 24 left, and we're 500, it feels like it's starting to sink in to some fans now that they're looking at the standings, now that they see Curry's out for at least 4 more games. There's no Gary Payton II. You got rid of Wiseman. Wiggins is it like?
Oh man,
I think some people are beginning to allow for the possibility that this thing isn't going to last forever, and in fact, it could end in 6 weeks. Now, I'm not saying it's gonna, but it could, and I believe it could.
And your ears are giving you that by what you've been hearing.
I think the reality of the situation's got to be hitting some people, right?
Yeah, and I'm one of them. And it's off the Martin Luther King menu. You shall overcome. Can they overcome what they can't control? One is injuries. And now, on top of the injuries, which has your best player out, I'm worried selfishly because I'm rooting for the Wiggins and the Wiggins family, whatever he's going through. Steiny, I'm looking at you right now. We don't know when Wiggins is coming back.
I know.
Now, it may be the next game, but he won't be there tonight. So when you say it's over,
the championships are over.
And that's why I'm holding on to hope, Steiny, like in Vogue. I'm holding on because I hope this is part of a one-off.
I believe the championships are over. That's what I believe.
I'm not mad at you.
You said that last year.
And
I did. Yeah. And so did 90% of the people.
We're talking about
Why did Monty Poole call it a surprise?
Because everybody, I love Kyle for that one. There you go. But nobody saw it coming.
And you know what? Last year, for the 8 millionth time, was different. They were 41-13 last year. They were completely healthy for the playoffs. So let's say they don't get it done this year. Okay. Well, how?
And they go to
what do they do? Western Conference Finals?
They lose in the first round.
First round, they lose to Denver.
And Curry's hampered. We can clearly see Steph Curry's hampered.
Okay.
They don't have too many options on the table, but you told me this. You told the people. A dynasty's not over in 1 year. They get to go back, find out who's going to be around, who's not. They get healthy. There won't be a fight in training camp.
You're
and then
you're
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
You're in flat out dream world.
But they have that.
So let me get this straight. Let me get this straight.
Go ahead.
Let me get this straight.
Yeah. They have that.
Steph Curry's hurt right now.
Right now.
Like he is frequently. More and more frequently. More and more frequently. Now you're telling me they lose in the first round because he's hampered. That's a big reason why they're going to lose. Yeah. So he will have missed a lot of the season, been hampered for the playoffs, and you're just going to assume he's going to play 75 games the following year when he's turning 36?
That's not a prerequisite.
You cannot.
Yeah, I'm not.
Like, if I'm Bob Myers.
Give me 60.
I am not. Well, he hasn't been able to. Not this year. He did last year, barely 64. But that's the other thing. If Steph Curry plays 60 games a year, you're not going to win 57 games and go to the playoffs as a 2 or 3 seed. So, okay, so what are you going to do next year? Well, we're going to be next year. Steph's going to play 60 games. We're going to be 44-38, and we're going to try it again because 2 years ago we won it.
Well,
that to me sounds preposterous.
Okay. Hey, and I'm not even mad at the people that feel like you. My question to you is, it's your job. They're going to try. And I cannot envision a scenario where Steph Curry is on the Golden State Warriors and they're not a threat. So I'm holding on to that. And I don't think I'm by myself, Steiny.
Why not?
Because we haven't seen it.
2 years ago, we saw it. They were 39-33, and they didn't make the playoffs, and he averaged 32 a game. So we have seen it.
You know what? That one time. But for 4-8, wipes that out. And there were extenuating circumstances the year before that when they won 15 games. Maybe I'm just not ready to watch Steph Curry be on a mediocre basketball team in a Golden State Warrior uniform.
Well,
and I just don't
think he's on one this year.
Right now.
And this team was mediocre when he started.
But if we're going to go titles, they're defending champs.
We're not going titles because
they're defending champs.
We're not going titles.
Yeah. And whoever's at the helm,
that's the other problem.
They're going to try to enhance this team as best they can.
Exactly.
I don't get paid
outside
that
your
money.
pay grade?
Yeah,
well, let me tell you, it's outside my pay grade too, but they're pretty much stuck. Unless they want to really make big moves. But
do I sound like I'm in denial?
Yes, you are in denial.
Well, what would you tell the Warrior locker room before tonight's game? Go get them, fellas. This is the last
Cancun.
Wow.
See, and here's the other problem with your way of thinking, and it's worse than my way of thinking. As a realist, I'm looking at this team saying, okay, let's see how far they can go this year. You are looking at it as championship or bust. And let me tell you what, that ain't right. That ain't right. You're expecting a team with an older core to be able to go back to back. And if and when they don't, you're going to be like, oh, man, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Well, I can't believe you thought they would.
Wow. I thought you knew me.
I do. No, I do.
Because I'm already telling you next year, as long as you got Wardell, you got action.
You think they're going to be better next year?
Oh no, I'm not ready for that.
So they're 29 and 29 now.
Listen, yeah, there's so many reasons they're 29 and 29, and I'm not giving any passes, but they still are trying to get right and find out who they're going to play. You got to qualify, but this dude is transcendent, and I'm talking about Steph Curry, Steiny. The front office, nobody's going to say we're not trying to do it. So next year will be its own entity. But man, oh man, if you got Steph, I'm all in.
Well, I know you're all in. I know you're all in.
It starts
but
tonight.
He alone does not guarantee a title. Like, that's been proven every bit as much as, well, they have to have Steph Curry. Like, here's the deal. You're right. They can't win a title without Steph Curry. But just because of Steph Curry doesn't mean they get to win one either. 888-957-9570 is the number. Look, this is fascinating stuff. There's a lot of wild cards. Bob Myers doesn't have a contract for next year. What's Draymond Green going to do? You know, somebody was saying, let's go worst case scenario with the Warriors and the best case. Yeah. Well, I don't know if Draymond opting out is best case or worst. What if I told you that?
But I thought a couple weeks ago we tussled. We went a couple rounds. We sparred because you talked about how the Warriors could not get another chip without Draymond Green.
I don't believe they can.
Then it would be negligence on the Warriors' part to envision a team.
It's his decision. Yeah. It's not the Warriors' decision. It's Draymond's decision. And if I'm Draymond,
talk to me.
And we go 42-40, and we lose in the play-in game, or we get beat by Memphis,
let's run it back.
I'm leaving. Why? Why would Draymond run it back here if they lose in the first round and he's virtually certain we're not going to be as good next year? Why not? Because we're getting older. Like, listen, if you want to say, Steinmetz, you make too much out of these guys' age, that's fair enough. You guys don't make enough of it. You guys think that these guys are going to be 38 and 39 and collecting rings.
Yeah. What if we found out Dre wants to be a Warrior for life? That wouldn't shock you, though.
Do you think he does?
Honestly, I think he does.
Okay.
And I think he was
a bit
turned off. Yeah, no doubt.
They didn't pay him yet.
And you got to pay him
to get
predicated on you thinking you can win still with them.
And let's lay that on the line, too. He wanted to get paid.
No doubt.
And they said no.
Right.
No. And they got to be careful with Clay. If you envision Clay on this team for 3 years, what?
Go ahead.
No.
Like if I'm the Lakers, Klay Thompson's the shooter we need. You know, if I'm Sacramento, Milwaukee, we need a marksman like Klay Thompson. So there would be people wanting his services.
Right, but the Warriors get worse with Clay leaving, right?
Right, but then that's when we're talking about reinventing yourself. You ain't letting these guys walk and then not try to put something. Come on.
I mean, you think if I told you in 2 years Steph will be here, it'll just be Steph, Poole, and Wiggins. You'd say, well, it's still a championship.
We got action.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.